Hi guys, Sal Galvin here from Perth, WA. I am checking in from down the paddock. I am down the paddock this morning pulling weeds with my dogs. See all my gorgeous dogs. But I wanted to check in and tell you guys about this new, a positive of this COVID virus. If there is one, I have found one and I'm wanting to share it with you guys because it's important. So, wasting. So we have been living in such a throwaway world. We really have. Have a think about your own lives and my generation. We have been living in such a throwaway world. Sit down, Bets. It's good. Because it has been, like an example for me would be, we've been doing the garden lately and, if I'm looking for fittings, it has been easier for me to, instead of rummaging through different buckets of fittings in the shed, I have just hopped in the car and gone and bought stuff. And that in there is a waste of resource, isn't it? Another example is hi Caroline, how you going? Another example of wasting is, egg cartons, right? So we had eggs yesterday morning and we go through a dozen eggs because there's 6 of us and they all have 2 each. And that egg carton in the past, I have just thrown in the bin or into the compost heap. But this time I've kept it because the kids are growing seeds. So these are the things that, or actually with the new chooks, with the extra chooks, we've got, any extra eggs, they'll go into those egg cartons. These are things that my mum used to do and that my grandmother used to do. And just a couple of generations down, it is easier for me to throw it out. It has been. So this COVID-19 and this coronavirus that is shocking the world at the moment and creating such uncertainty that there's no meat in the supermarkets right now. There hasn't been toilet paper for ages. There's such uncertainty arising that, I truly believe in the universal law of abundance. I believe that there is enough for everybody. But in the climate that we have been living in, with all of our wastage in resources, in food, in time, I'm going to get to that in a minute, but the amount that we have been wasting in Western civilization has really, it tips that universal law of abundance is that there is enough for everybody. But if we are wasting it, then it doesn't fit. So be really mindful, and I am the worst. I have been the worst for it, for wasting food. So if there's stuff left over, I have just, popped it out to the chooks or popped it out to the dogs instead of being mindful and reusing it. Like an example is celery sticks. So I was chopping up some celery the other day and there was the end of the celery, and instead of just throwing that straight out to the guinea pig or throwing that out to the chooks, I put that in a bag that I had not thrown out the day before with some tomatoes. So I put the tomatoes in the fridge and I popped the bag. Instead of throwing the little plastic bag, the thin plastic bag out, I popped it in, rolled it up and popped it into the top and bottom drawer. This is just a silly example. And I reuse that to put the celery ends in, and those celery ends will be used this evening in the pasta sauce that I'm going to make. That's a silly example, but it is an example. And it's instead of in the past, I would have thrown that out and gone and bought more. Do you know? So this universal law of abundance is trust that there is enough for everybody, but we need to reduce our wastage on our food, on our resources, which is our money. And then the big one is our time as well. How much time do you waste thinking negative or dragging people down or thinking negative thoughts, saying negative things, having a negative impact on anybody around you? Because that is a waste of time. We have limited time on this earth, right? In these bodies. I truly believe that in these bodies that we are currently in right now, we have a limited amount of time And that is the same for everybody, because it's the circle of life. We're all going to die sometime. So that in that window of time that we have on this earth in these bodies as we are now, what are you going to do with that time? Like, are you going to spend it negatively or positively? And that is the choice that you can make. So I think with this uncertainty, in fact, I know this is what's happening for me at the moment. And I know that there's loads of you out there that are feeling the same. That I am uncertain of the future. I trust that it'll all work out the way it needs to. I also trust in the universal law of abundance that there is enough for everybody, but we need to be mindful of what we are wasting. What resources, what time, money is resources as well, food, hose fittings, that's just a small example. So if there is a positive to come out of this COVID-19, I reckon that's one of them. And we need some more positivity around in communities like this. So what are you wasting right now? What are you mindful now of not? Of reducing your waste? Pop some comments in. Tell me what you're thinking, because this is a community and we all need to stay connected, especially with the new laws coming in where we need to stay isolated. I think this is the perfect medium to stay connected. So pop a comment in. Tell me, what are you guys wasting? And can you think of another positive out of the COVID-19 virus? Because in every negative, I know there is a positive. In every bad thing that happens to me, I realize that it's happening for me, and that I can work out what positive is going to come out of it. So if that is a positive, what's another one? I'm sure that there's more. This COVID-19 virus is here for us to learn something, and I truly believe that reducing our waste is one of them. Tell me what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Ciao for now.